Welcome to Travel Tracker Routing. Today we're going to be talking about user-defined fields. Now, user-defined fields are great for tracking information that is specific to your district, and these can be applied to every tab within Travel Tracker Routing. You can have them for students, schools, vehicles, staff stops, and routes. To create a user-defined field, we're going to go under our profile and click on Settings. And then there's this general menu option. We're going to click on that and actually go down to the user-defined field section. When you initially go into your travel tracker routing software, this is going to be blank. So let's add a few to the students. So let's say you have an after-school program and you want to mark the students that are going to that program. So we're going to choose a checkbox for this one and we're going to label it After-School Challenge. And so what this is going to do is this is going to create a true-false marker on students, whether they attend the after-school challenge or don't. So if they do, it'll be a true. If they don't, it'll be a false. So we're going to save that. And now, you know what, let's add another one. So let's say that for COVID-19, you've had a group of students attending on Monday, Tuesday, and a different group of students attending on Thursday, Friday. To track this, we're going to create a list user-defined field, and we're going to label this list days attending. And so then over here, you're going to see these three bars. This is going to be how you create that list. So each time you hit enter, that's going to be a different list item. So we're going to label this first one Monday, Tuesday. The second one is going to be Thursday, Friday. And let's say that we have SPED students that need to attend every day. We're going to go ahead and mark them with a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so that we have that included as well. So I'm going to apply that, and I'm going to save that list as well. One more option for these, so there's a number option, and this is just going to be a number. Let's say that we're going to use this number to track days suspended from bus. Let's say there was a violation of your transportation guidelines and you want to track how many days the student has been suspended. So we can save that. Now let's take a look at what this is going to look like under the student profile. So I'm going to go to the Students tab. And right now we're not going to have any students that are marked under those, but let's take a look at that section in the student profile. So now I've opened up Alan Acevedo, and I'm going to go down to the user-defined fields section. So let's say that he is part of the after-school challenge. He is only attending on Thursdays and Fridays. And you know what, we'll say that he hasn't been suspended from the bus. So I'm going to save this information. Now, we can also use this information to filter down a group of students. So I'm going to go back to the list, and I'm going to filter for, down here in the user-defined fields, for students that are true for that after-school challenge. And you'll see it just pulls up Alan Acevedo. Now, if I clear that filter, I can also filter for students that are marked with that Thursday, Friday, days attending filter. If I look at that, there we go. He attends on Thursday, Friday. So it's a really useful way to create custom filtering options and markers for your students based off of the information that your district needs to look at. You can also print this information off in report. Let's go look at user-defined fields for some of the other areas. So we're going to go back to settings and we're going to go back down to user-defined fields. Now let's say you want to mark which one of your schools are Title I schools, so we can use a checkbox for this one as well. So let's just label it Title I, and we'll save that one. For vehicles, let's say we want to do a date. So we're going to call this last maintenance date. And so that way you can keep a track of the last time a bus had maintenance done to it. So let's say you've also got buses that can be pretty finicky. Let's create a text field called maintenance notes so that if you have so this way you can keep a record of some of the issues that this bus has if you've got buses that are running late because they break down often. This will be a good way to keep track of that. So we'll save that as well. Now let's look at user-defined fields for staff. So this one, we're going to do date again. So let's say that there's a specific certification for your district that drivers need to have. We'll put the date of that. So we'll put date recertification required. And so that's a good way to keep track of that. So let's go take a look at what all of these look like on these tabs. So let's go to schools. So you can see up here, we still have that user-defined field. So let's say we do want to look at schools that are Title I. So right now we don't have any. So this is something where you can go in and mark those schools as Title I in that user-defined field section, and they will show up in that filter, just like we did on the Students tab. So let's try that search again. So Title I, true. There we go. Blue Moon Elementary popped right up. So we also did one for vehicles. So we did last maintenance date and any maintenance notes. So I'm going to open up Bus 1. So let's take a look at these user-defined fields. So last maintenance, let's say this one was, the last time I went to the shop was on September 1st. And let's put in some maintenance notes. Let's say brakes need replacing at next visit. So these are things that you can keep track of using these notes. Now, I originally made this maintenance notes just a quarter size box. We can fix that and make that bigger so that it shows better in this section. So I'll show you how to do that really quick. Let's go back to settings for a minute and to user-defined fields. We're going to go to that vehicle, and right here it says field size. We're actually going to select full width this time. So I've saved that. Now let's go back to this vehicles tab. So under user-defined fields, you can see now that that box is a lot bigger, and you can see a lot more information for that vehicle for anything that you type in. Now, the last one, we did do a date recertification one for the staff, so let's go take a look at that as well. So we're going to take a look at Stephen Alexander, and again, we're going to go down to the user-defined field. So we can see this right here. We've got a date. Let's say that he just had his done, and it's going to be a year before he needs another one. So let's go to September of 2021. The 23rd, that's when that recertification is required, and we can save that. And so that's marked for that. So user-defined fields are going to be great for tracking information that is specific to your district. And there is a lot of flexibility with what you can do with them. If you have any questions about how best to use these for your district, please feel free to reach out to your implementation specialist or our support team.